It's a beautiful fall day in Chadsford, Pennsylvania, where a friend and I have come to see the Brandywine River Museum of Art, where the works of the Wyeth family are housed. We've particularly come to see the work of Andrew Wyeth. The museum is located right on the banks of the Brandywine River, which is running very high at the moment, as we've had a lot of rain recently. As I look at the river and the surrounding area, I start thinking about the things our eyes follow. Artists are experts at looking, and I can easily see why Andrew Wyeth was inspired by this area where he grew up and lived and painted. I can imagine him sitting by this riverbank, letting his eyes flow downriver with the current, noticing all the little things, fallen leaves, trees tickling the water, the blue sky, the passing clouds, the way light and shadow make everything come alive. We enter the museum to see his paintings. And are greeted by 3 of his muses. Here we have the young Siri, his wife Betsy, and Christina Olsen. Wyeth takes us into the people and landscapes that surrounded him, but lets us see them the way that he saw them. The nightmare of winter, the melting beauty of spring, the interest of old buildings, the winging away of a flock of birds. He lets us see how the things and people around him danced within his imagination. One of the things I like best about Andrew Wyeth is that he painted the things that were around him. He didn't go off hunting far and wide to find the most beautiful people or foreign places. Instead, he painted what was beautiful and interesting right around him. In the land that he walked on ever since he was a child. His paintings have a feeling of presence, and I think that's because he knew these people and these places so well. this painting spring. As surreal as it is, it also feels settled. There's a sense of people and land being one thing. The description of this painting monologue made me chuckle because he said he called it that because the sitter talked throughout the entire pose. Look at this beautiful light, though. After looking at some of the paintings, we let our eyes take a break from art gazing over a drink and a meal before we go on to Wyeth's studio and the Kerner farm where close family friends lived. This is where Wyeth worked and painted. He says, "I am working, please do not disturb. I don't sign autographs." It's said that he was an artist who kind of wanted to be invisible and let his work sort of speak for him. There's wonderful light inside the studio. His son worked here as well as him. Here was a place where he was surrounded by his paints and brushes and worked as much from imagination as from reference. Creating worlds on paper. While looking out these huge windows at his own world. We move on to the Kerner farm. Wyeth painted the Kerners and their land many times. It's easy to see why. It's a sort of spare, hard place where light and water seem to be building blocks just as much as wood and stone. But it is rugged and beautiful. Wyeth painted this very basin with its overflowing trickle of water. Before we leave, we explore the grounds a little bit more. It'd be easy to spend hours in these trees, just listening to the wind and letting your eyes wander. What do your eyes follow do they take from the world and let you keep in your mind? What sorts of things become part of your inner landscape? Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again soon.